Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. I already covered today's anniversary for today, February 4th. It was a 1939, probably self-induced abortion. Very little information, but I link below. What I want to talk about right now is pro-lifers pushing for informed consent laws. And I used to think informed consent laws were an absolutely fantastic idea. Make sure the woman gets this information. Then I listened to years and years of National Abortion Federation tapes, and I found out the workaround. The workaround is you take the material you're required to present and you go, a bunch of anti-choice busybodies put together this collection of lies and misinformation that is not designed to inform you, but to try to make you feel guilty about making the best choice for yourself. Do you want to review this misinformation? Of course, the woman's going to say no. And the idea of making her look at the ultrasound or offering to show the ultrasound, anybody who's seen an ultrasound knows how easy it is. You just kind of move the wand and you get to where you can't get a good view of the fetus and you go, look, there's the gestational sac. You can see there's nothing like a baby there. It's just a gestational sac. Okay? That's the workaround. Okay? And the degree to which abortionists will lie comes under what's called the Maya project, I believe it's called, the Maya network, which is telling you, it's informing women. This is the kind of information that abortion clinics give women. Did you know what early pregnancies actually look like? You might be surprised to know that pregnancies under 9 weeks have no visible embryo. No visible embryo. So this is the degree to which they will lie. Okay? The thumbnail to this video shows I'm going for 8 weeks, an 8-week fetus, and what Maya Network claims is the tissue removed from the uterus in an 8-week pregnancy. Now, they kind of weasel around and they say, well, this is the we just kind of rinsed it. There's nothing but a gestational sac. And they admit that it's just the gestational sac, but they tell you that there is no embryo. There is just the gestational sac. Okay? So the gap between what they will educate and what the reality is enormous. Absolutely enormous. So what you need is an idea that David Reardon and Feminists for Life first floated in the 1980s, which was a right to redress act where you let the woman sue for the wrongful death of her baby if she wasn't given proper informed consent. And again, you need to not say, okay, here's this material. It doesn't matter how factual it is. They are going to lie and tell the woman that this is not true, that none of this is true. This is all lies. It's all designed to guilt trip you. That's what they will tell her, so that even if she does look at it, she has already been told by people she trusts that this is a bunch of lies. So you are feeding into the false woman and her doctor versus anti-choice busybodies paradigm. What you need is a law that just says she can sue you for the wrongful death of her baby, no statute of limitations if at any point she finds out that you withheld information or gave her false information. So this Maya network that is showing this 8-week rinsed decidual tissue and saying that that's everything that's removed from the uterus, that there's no visible embryo, she can sue for the wrongful death of that baby. If she's a teenager and she's saying she's having an abortion because her mother's going to throw her out of the house, you point out that legally mom can't do that. And what's more, the local pregnancy centers help girls tell their parents all the time. Your parents might be upset at first, but they'll come around. If her problem is she's got no housing, you let her know that she can get hooked up with housing. If she has a medical issue, you don't just, oh yeah, we'll slurp out your baby. No, you say where you can get treatment. Okay? Anything she learns after that abortion that would have changed her mind, if you cannot demonstrate that you gave her that information in a meaningful manner, she can sue. So it's not going to be terms and conditions that nobody actually reads. If she's going to have an abortion pill abortion, you darn well better have a picture of what she might be expelling and have her sign on this. I am okay if I go home and see this, if this is what I expel. Anything she might find out later. Women who have these D&D abortions where they come in and they rip the limbs off the baby and they're told they might retain some tissue and might pass some tissue, and they go home and splat the face and arms of their baby is laying on the floor of their shower, this dead baby's face staring up at her. She needs to be able to sue because you did not make it plain. No, not tissue. You might see recognizable body parts. You might see eyes and arms and legs. You might see the baby's little spine or rib cage. Anything that she might regret later, you have to be able to demonstrate that you gave her that information in a meaningful one-on-one way. And that completely undercuts their whole business model, because their whole business model relies on lying to the women, on telling them there's nothing but a blob of undifferentiated tissue no bigger than a grain of rice. Or telling them there's just tissue. You might go home and pass some tissue. Okay. They need to know. If it's something she's not going to be able to live with, she needs to know before she does it, and it's irreversible. And none of this, don't worry your pretty little head. None of this protectionist garbage of, oh, it would stress her out to know this. No, if she's going to make this decision, she has to know what it is. You don't tell somebody, we're going to remove some tissue from your lower limb and then amputate their leg and say, well, a leg is tissue. You give them the full information. There is no way the abortion monstrosity can keep its head above water because they're put in a bad situation. They have to lie to sell the abortion, okay? If she finds out later her baby had a negative diagnosis, and she finds out later she could have had perinatal hospice, or she finds out later that kids with Down syndrome can lead rich, full lives, you fail to give her information, she could sue your butt off. So if you tell her the truth, you can't sell the abortion, but if you lie to her, she can come sue your ass off later. Their entire business model collapses. That's the way we need to go. We need to make abortion advocates say we want to be allowed to lie to women because they're just such fragile little snowflakes. Hit them where they live.